Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to CougarsNetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network.
Tonight, Cougars Network is live with Canyon High School baseball. Canyon looks to stay in the hunt for a playoff spot and even up in season series against East Central as the Cougars host the Hornets in 27 6A action. Cougars Network is your home for live Canyon Cougars High School baseball. Welcome to Cougar Field for a critical late-season game between the Canyon Cougars and the East Central Hornets. On the Cougars Network, I'm Brant Freeman. These two teams are both angling for one of the district's coveted for playoff spots, and the Hornets got a leg up in the race on Tuesday with a walk-off win over the Cougars. As a result, Canyon can ill afford falling further behind as the regular game extremely high. Coming up, we'll break down the district standings as the Cougars look to maintain a strong position in the playoff hunt, and we'll visit with the Cougars' first-year head coach, Reagan Muchagimba. This is Canyon Cougars High School Baseball on the Cougars Network.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
And welcome back to Cougar Field as we get you ready for Canyon and East Central. Let's now see where these two teams stand in the 27 6A playoff picture. You look at the top of the district standings, and Smithson Valley right now in first place, and the Rangers have already clinched at least a share of the 27 6A title. They need one more win to claim it outright. And right now there is a tie for second place. Both the Braunfels and Clemens are 7-4. Look to be virtual locks for playoff berths. Also a tie for fourth place with those three teams right there, Canyon, Judson, and tonight's opponent, East Central. Meanwhile, Steele and Wagner, the bottom, have both been eliminated. So again, the stakes are very high for the game tonight because East Central won the game on Tuesday. If they win tonight, they own the tiebreaker and a one-game lead with 2 left to play. The Cougars would be in a really tough spot. First pitch is coming up at 7 o'clock after the break. We'll visit with first-year head coach Reagan Muchagimba. This is Canyon Cougars High School Baseball on the Cougars Network.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
And welcome back to Cougar Field, a big 27-6A game tonight between Canyon and East Central. We are now joined by first-year Cougars head coach Reagan Muchagemba. And, Coach, let's start there. Again, your inaugural season here at Canyon High School. How rewarding has the experience been?
It's been fun. Taking over a new program is always a fun deal. You know, I had a good community where I was before, and I was really excited to come here to a real small town kind of feel to it where I grew up, grew up in Comal. So I was really excited for the opportunity.
Looking at the makeup of your team, you have a lot of quality hitters up and down your lineup, but maybe the best one at the top of your order, Ricky Nieto at shortstop. What's made him so productive?
He's a grinder. I mean, he's after practice every day getting extra work in. He had a lot of success last year, and it's tough to duplicate that going into your junior year. You know, maybe have a slump the second year, but he's continued to work and continued to put in all the extra stuff that it takes at this level to play in this district. You know, every week's is a grind. Everybody's good, so you got to be on your A game all the time.
And as I mentioned, this is a big 27-6A game. Really has a playoff feel to it as well as the postseason draws closer. The end of the regular season is next week, and you're fighting for a playoff berth. Take us through the emotions of the team right now as you try to make the postseason.
Well, you know, we try to preach that everyone's big. You know, every game is big, especially in this district, because it always comes down to this. You know, being that, you know, these are playoff type games, it benefits you for if you are to get in where you've played those games before. I mean, we're treating it like a one-game playoff. You know, you win tonight, you got another chance next week to continue to make your run at the playoffs. So, you know, the East Central's a good quality team, and I think we're tied with them right now. So this is a big game tonight. It
was a tough way in which you lost the game on Tuesday at East Central, losing at a walk-off. What are you looking for out of your team tonight and bouncing back?
Just show up and play hard. You know, we ask our kids to play with a lot of energy, play with a lot of effort, and a lot of the little things will take care of itself if you can do that every night. And
you're throwing a freshman on the mound tonight, Michael Bassett, who's looked really good for you so far this season. Just how impressive has he been for a freshman?
Well, you know, as a freshman, it's tough. You never really know what you're going to get. He started off on our JV and then came with us for the rest of the season, and he's been nothing but great for us so far. He's mild-mannered. He does nothing ever gets to him. He's mature beyond his years, and we're excited to see what he's going to do tonight.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
And again, first-year head coach Reagan Muchagemba joining us. First pitch is coming up next on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
On Travel Channel, all new Expedition Unknown.
Every legend is an epic adventure. Here we go. From Stonehenge and the Vikings to Butch Cassidy. It's the adventure that's legendary. How do we get out of this thing?
All new Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
Watch Travel Channel. GVTC Digital Cable Channel 577. GVTC. Just plain smart.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to CougarsNetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
And welcome back to Cougar Field on the Cougars Network, ready for this late regular season matchup between Canyon and East Central. And now let's take a look at the defense here for the Cougars. A look at the outfield, and you see Hopper, McKay, and Holt in the Cougar outfield. The infield made up of Johnson and Nieto on the left side. The right side made up of Farr and Perez. The catcher, Glasscock. And tonight's starting pitcher is the freshman Michael Bassett, who we spoke with the coach Muchagemba about back in our pregame conversation. His numbers this year, Bassett is 5-1 with a 2.90 ERA and 38 2/3 innings of work. 31 strikeouts, 22 walks for the freshman pitcher. His last start, pretty good against Wagner. 5 innings, only gave up a run. Struck out 2 and walked 4 batters in that game. And gets in his warm-up pitches as we now take a look at one of the stars on this Canyon infield, and that is their shortstop, Ricky Nieto. We're going to see him bat at the top of the order for the Cougars in the bottom of the first inning. Hitting .536 this year, was first-team All-District a year ago, named honorable mention All-State last year as well. Leads the team in runs scored, stolen bases, doubles it. And the Cougars needing a big game out of him tonight. And this a very big game. Again, Canyon tied with East Central in the 27-6A standings. And the Hornets won the first matchup on Tuesday, a 3-2 win. Back at East Central High School, and if the Hornets win tonight, they own the tiebreaker and will have a 1-game lead with 2 left to play, meaning if the Cougars do fall tonight, they would have to win their final 2 district games next week, and the Hornets would have to lose their 2, and they next play Wagner next week, so the Cougars will have a tough time getting that help, as the Thunderbirds have yet to win a district play this season. As we see Taylor Neal step up to start the game for East Central. The batting order for second-year head coach J.K. Moody looks like this. Taylor Neal followed by Tyler Vivier. Then Blade Strelzik, followed by Ryan Becca hitting 4th. Christian Barajas is hitting 5th in the order, as the first pitch is a strike from Bassett. Barajas is followed by Anthony Tovar, tonight's pitcher for the Hornets, batting 6th. Hitting 7th in left field is Michael Reyna. Batting 8th at first base is Ozric Salas, and batting 9th tonight's DH, Robert Sierra. Count 0-2 here to Taylor Neal. Neal batting .310 this season, no homers and 8 RBI for the junior. Here's the 0-2 from the freshman. That misses low for ball 1. We've gone through the district records for these two teams, both 6 and 5. Overall, the Hornets 19, 9 and 2. 2 and 2 now. The Cougars 14, 12 and 1 this season. At the home ballpark, they are 9 and 7, and Canyon has won 3 straight here at home. Two. Misses up. Good at-bat here by Neal, and fills the count at 3 and 2. Bassett trying to retire the leadoff man. Doesn't. It's a leadoff walk for Neal. That's his 13th to draw this year, and it sends up Vivier for East Central. Vivier, the junior, is hitting .274 this year, 1 homer and 10 RBI. Productive hitter in the order for, again, second-year head coach J.K. Moody. And this time a right-hander facing off against the freshman Michael Bassett. Shows a bunt, Bassett fields. And there's the inning's first out of the sacrifice. But Neal over to second now. And it sends up Blade Strelzik. Strelzik is playing at third base tonight for East Central, but was a starting pitcher in Tuesday's win over Canyon, and he was really good on Tuesday. A complete game, pitched all 7 innings in the win on Tuesday night. Only gave up 2 hits and struck out 9. And now Strelzik with an RBI opportunity. He has driven in 21 so far this year. That's strike 1. The Hornets have several good arms up and down the roster. We'll see one of them tonight against Tovar. You look at Strelzik's pitching numbers. He's 5-2 this season, an ERA under 4. 45 innings of work for Strelzik, with 40 punch-outs against only 13 walks. And a good bat, too. He's hitting .329 this season. 0-1. Here's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. This might score a run. Neal around third. Here's a throw from center, and it's offline. An early 1-0 lead for East Central. Meanwhile, Strelzik takes second base on the throw from center. Early lead here for the Hornets. And now the catcher, Ryan Beckett. The senior leads the team in batting average, hitting .354, and also team high 24 RBI. And could add to that total with a base hit here, with Strelzik at second base. Pops him up. Here's the catcher. Glasscock has no play. So strike 1 to Beckett, who was the hero on Tuesday, delivered the walk-off single at the bottom of the 7th. Brought up his season RBI number moments ago. Really on fire in that department as of late. 11 RBI over the past 7 games alone. Had a 4 RBI game 2 weeks ago against Steele. Ground ball again, goes off the glove of Bassett, and he has no play. Everybody is safe. And the Hornets have a lot more brewing here in the top of the first. Good start for the visitors out of East Central. And now Christian Barajas. That's an infield single there for Beckett. Second hit of the inning here for the Hornets. And now Barajas. He's hitting .328. Wouldn't know it to look at him. So small in stature, but tied for the team lead in homers with 2 this season. Also 17 RBI. In fact, he has the best or the highest OPS on the team, over 1,000. A look to first, and Beckett is back in. Barajas, an on-base percentage of .475, slugging .573. All in that tiny Jose Altuve-like frame. Ball 1. The only homers he hit came in back-to-back games, March 8th and 9th against Franklin and Bernie. Outside corner for strike 1. The inning started with a walk to Taylor Neal after Bassett got out in front, 0-2. And then Vivier, the sacrifice, the only out of the inning. After that, back-to-back base hits, included the RBI single by Strelzik. He's at third now. And early trouble here for the Cougar freshman Michael Bassett. Popped up. This should not score a run. Over from short is Nieto. Will give way to Hopper in left field. And again, not deep enough to score anybody. And now 2 out. It's a big out number 2 there for Bassett. And out, Anthony Tovar for the Hornets. The senior batting .265 this year. 2 homers of his own with 16 RBI. And now trying to add to his own lead here. That's up for ball one. Again, both teams 6-5 in district play, but you look at the Hornets, and they actually started 27-6A play on a rough note. Dropped for their first 6. A snap throw to first, and again back in is Beckett. So the playoffs at that point with a 2-4 start looked like a long shot for East Central, but they've bounced back in a big way. They've won 4 out of their past 5. And winning a ton of tight games along the way. Strike one. 3 of those 4 wins have come by a single run, to include the walk-off win over Canyon on Tuesday. There's a rundown between first and second, and the throw from Perez gets away from Nieto. That will allow Strelzik to score. 2-0 Hornets. So aggressive base running pays off for East Central. Although Bassett, a good job looking over to first base, on target throw to Perez, but his throw was offline and Nieto covering the bag, and Beckett is safe at second, but now a 2-0 Hornet lead. And a base hit here can make it 3-0. Strike two. Tovar, the 6th batter of the inning for East Central. Into right field, and he'll drop in for a base hit. Here comes Beckett. The throw is cut off from the infield. And it is a 3-0 East Central lead. Anthony Tovar, the RBI base hit. That's now 17 RBI this season for him. A lot of 2-out production here for the Hornets. 2-run scoring with 2 outs. And now Michael Reyna. Reyna hitless this year, 0 for 5. Up and inside for ball one. One out. At the knees for a call strike to Reyna. Listed as a utility player for the Hornets. More known for his pitching this year than hitting. 14 innings of work this year for Reyna on the mound. He's 2-1. A line shot that is played off of a hop by Farr to the second base back with a force, and that will finally end the East Central first inning. But the Hornets have struck first in the top of the first. 3 runs for East Central, courtesy of 3 hits and a man left. We go to the bottom of the first. 3-0 East Central on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Watch DIY. GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
On Travel Channel, all new Expedition Unknown.
Every legend is an epic adventure. Here we go from Stonehenge and the Vikings to Butch Cassidy. It's the adventure that's legendary.
How do we get out of this thing?
All new Expedition Unknown, Wednesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
Watch Travel Channel, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 577. GVTC, just plain smart.
And we're back at Cougar Field at an early 3-0 lead for the visiting East Central Hornets. If there's some silver lining, the team that led first on Tuesday lost, although that team was Canyon. The Cougars led 2-0 at the end of the first inning, and East Central came back to win, so why not Canyon tonight? Oh, look now, the batting order for the Cougars. Leading off at shortstop is Ricky Nieto. Batting second for the Cougars in center field is Payne McKay. Batting third at first base is James Perez. Batting fourth for the Cougars is the catcher Garrett Glasscock. Batting fifth in left field, Reagan Hopper. Batting sixth at second base, Calvin Farr. Hitting seventh at third is Hunter Johnson. Batting eighth tonight's DH Kay Jones. And batting ninth in right field is Connor Holt. And there we'll look at Nieto for the Canyon Cougars. And again, what a season he has had so far. Batting .536, an absurd average for the junior shortstop. 14 RBI, team leading 22 runs scored, and also a team high 6 doubles. In fact, Nieto has doubled in 4 consecutive games. Scored one of Canyon's 2 runs on Tuesday, and faces off against Anthony Tovar, his first pitch of the game. And the left-hander's first pitch is down for ball 1. You look back at the top of the first for East Central, the 3 runs coming off of 3 hits. 2-0 to Nieto. Runs were scored by Neal, Strelzik, and Beckett. And there were 2 RBI hits, Strelzik and Tovar. Tovar helping his own cause. Falls behind Nieto 3-0. The Cougars don't draw a ton of walks, only 65 this year. Comes out to about 2.5 per game. And here they draw their 66th. And for Nieto, his team leading 12th walk of the season. That'll send up Payne McKay. So think about that. The team leader in walks, Nieto with 12 of them through now 27 games, not a high number. And here's McKay. McKay batting .394, pretty impressive, not quite .536, but that'll do. No homers and 14 RBI for the junior. Playing out in center tonight. Cougars trying to respond to the East Central 3 spot in the top of this inning and a pickoff over at first base, and Nieto is a huge threat over there for the Cougars. 18 stolen bags this season. Had 5 in a game early this year against Smithson Valley. McKay shows a bunt and takes ball 1. Not sure the Cougars will be playing small ball down 3-zip early. And a game featuring high stakes. A loss puts Canyon on the brink of elimination. 2-0. McKay was 1 for 4 with an RBI against East Central on Tuesday, and now the catcher Becca comes out to visit with Tovar. Tovar is yet to throw a strike. Again, walk Nieto on 4 pitches and behind against McKay here, 2-0. And now Tovar ready to go back to work. First strike of the game, 2-1. A glance at Canyon's offensive team numbers. They're batting .347 collectively. They've scored 119 runs through their first 26 games, comes out to about 4.5 a game. And Tovar now with the 2-1. Not going to come as he looks over to Nieto at first. You would think the Cougars would have more home run numbers. Small ballpark here at Canyon High School. Just 365 feet, albeit to a tall fence out in center. Runner goes as the pitch is spoiled back for strike 2. We glanced at the 27-6A standings earlier against Smithson Valley. In first place right now, the Rangers have clinched a share of the 27-6A title. They can get it outright with one more win. And the Rangers tonight are hosting Judson. A strikeout. So Tovar recovers, falling behind 2-0 against McKay and strikes him out. Sends up James Perez. Perez batting .306 this year, with the team leading 20 RBI. One of those came in the game Tuesday at East Central, although Perez did not get a hit on Tuesday and struck out twice. That's up for ball 1. Also of note tonight in 27-6A play, New Braunfels' Zach Clemens. The winner takes over sole possession of second place. To left field, that ball is going to drop for a base hit. Nieto over to second and Perez to first base with the Cougars' first hit tonight. That'll send up Garrett Glasscock. Glasscock, a .319 hitter. 1 homer, 7 RBI for the junior. And trying to keep this bottom of the first inning moving for Canyon. The only other 27-6A game tonight, not of much consequence, as Steele is playing Wagner. Both teams out of the playoff race. Strike 1 to Glasscock. Although for Wagner, it might be the Thunderbirds' last best chance at a win in district play tonight. A ball up the middle for a base hit. Nieto motors around third. Here's a throw, and it is cut off. Nieto scores off the RBI base hit from Garrett Glasscock. Now a 3-1 game. So if you were tuning in tonight for a pitcher's duel 1-0 affair, you're not going to get that. As now Regan Hopper steps up for Canyon. Hopper batting .429 this season, 6 for 14. Did miss 6 weeks earlier this season due to an injury. In his very first game back, homered against Smithson Valley. And that is only extra base hit this season. Takes ball 1. The 1-0. Low again. Hitters count now to Reagan Hopper. Last name might sound familiar. Sister Riley plays for the softball team. What a season it has been for Canyon softball. They're closing out the regular season tonight against Judson and looking for some payback. The Rockets, the only team to have beaten Canyon this season. The Cougarettes are 24-1. And not just one of the top-ranked teams in the state, one of the top-ranked teams in the country. Their postseason starts next week. 2-0. Hard of the plate for strike one. The runner at second base is Perez. Glasscock is at first. And Nieto has already scored. And there Hopper expands the strike zone, and the count evens out to 2-2. Kellen Farr waits on deck. With Tovar trying to work around a jam. 2-2. Got him. Second strikeout of the inning for Tovar. Hopper down on strikes for just the fourth time this year. That'll send up Kellen Farr. Farr, the sophomore, batting .167 this season, 7 for 42. But 3 of those 7 hits have been doubles. One of those right now could maybe tie the game. And falls behind, 0-1. We saw the Hornets send 7 to the plate back in the top of the inning. And Farr, the 6th batter at the bottom of the first for Canyon. Strike 2. Several Cougar hitters this inning have gone fishing for the high heat there from Tovar coming up empty. Fouled off. And Farr stays alive. Brought up earlier that East Central's been winning a ton of close games. The Cougars have run into some tough luck. The loss on Tuesday, their 4th this year by a single run. And the team's 2nd in district play. 0-2 pitch, and Farr goes down swinging. And that'll end the Canyon first in the inning. 1 run off a couple of hits and 2 men left. We go to the second. East Central 3 and Canyon 1 on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School Baseball.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Watch DIY, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
And welcome back to Cougar Field. Canyon down 3-1 as we start the top of the second inning. And Ozark Salas leads off the Hornets second and takes strike one from Michael Bassett. And now 1-2. And now the count even here to Salas. Batting just 4 for 35 this season, a 114 average, but does have 7 RBI. And stays alive here. He had 3 hits in his first 2 games this season, but only 1 since, and that was back on February 24th. Battling here against Bassett. 2-2. If you recall, both pitchers walked the leadoff batters back in the first inning. Bassett walked Neal in the Hornets first, and Tovar walked Nieto in the Canyon first. In the air to right field. A long run for Holt. And there for out number 1. Sends up Robert Sierra for East Central, a recent JV call-up for the Hornets. And batting 9th in the order for second-year head coach J.K. Moody. Fouls that back for strike 1. Coach Moody was previously at Bishop High School for 3 seasons before taking over this program 2 years ago. Guided Bishop to the 2015 3A state title game. Breaking ball misses in. Hit towards center, and the JV call-up comes through with a 1-out single. So Robert Sierra's aboard as we go back to the top of the order. Now Taylor Neal for the Hornets. Again, East Central 10 games over 500 coming into the game tonight, so they have clinched a winning record, doing so for the 4th year in a row. An impressive feat for a program that at the start of this decade was in a tough spot. Ball 1 to Taylor Neal. Back in 2010, East Central finished 6-20, and the year before that, they only won 2 games. East Central finished with a winning record a year ago, but did not make the postseason. A win tonight draws them really close as we see Coach Buchageba come out to the mound to go and visit with Bassett. And in fact, with the East Central tied with Canyon and Judson for 4th place as of tonight, and with the Cougars playing the Rockets next week, I believe a win tonight does clinch a playoff spot for East Central, because somebody has to lose those games next week. Meeting is over, and Bassett goes back to work. And there's strike 1. the batter, Neal, one of several two-sport stars playing the game tonight, also plays or has played wide receiver for the football team. Count now 3-1. At the knees for strike two. Brought up Canyon's offensive numbers, the team numbers earlier. East Central's offensively, they're batting .271, averaging about 6 runs per game. A team, though, that draws quite a few walks, and right on cue, Neal draws his second. The only batter that Bassett has walked tonight has done so twice as Vivier steps up. But really the strength of the Hornets this season has been their pitching. A team ERA under 3 at 2.69, and they're averaging 5.5 strikeouts per game. So good stuff from Tovar. Back at the bottom of the first for East Central. Here's a pop-up by Vivier, but out of play for Glasscock. Count 0-1. In the dirt, blocked by Glasscock. Count now a ball to strike. So while East Central, again, I believe, clinches a playoff spot with a win tonight, that is not true for Canyon. In fact, even with the win, the Cougars still would almost likely need to win both games next week, assuming East Central will sweep its series against Wagner. On the ground, backhanded there by Johnson, to third for one, to first base. Not in time, but what a play over third by Hunter Johnson. And that for the inning, second out, also races a leadoff runner as Sierra goes back to the dugout. And now Blaze Strelzik steps up. Strelzik delivered the RBI base hit to center his last time up, also scored back in the first. And again, it was the winning pitcher last night. Inside corner for strike one. Bassett trying to keep this a 2-run game going into the bottom of the second. But he's working for it. Count now a ball and a strike. And now the lead runner at second base is Neal, and Vivier is over at first. Ground ball that'll shoot foul. And now Bassett ahead 1-2. On the topic of Hornets who have also played football, Strelzik has played quarterback for East Central's football program and is already committed to play next level baseball at nearby TLU in Seguin, a Division III program. 1-2. Popped, could be playable from first base, Perez. And we go to the bottom of the second, still a 2-run game with the Hornets on top. In the inning, no runs off a hit and 2 men left. 3-1 East Central on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for HEB. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas Produce Department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
We are the UIL.
From the coaches
to the players to the educators.
We've been in your shoes.
Extracurricular activities are essential to the development of our youth.
From proposed rule changes
to the relaxation of transfer rules, we keep it fair.
New academic contests, we hear you loud and clear.
New events are music to our ears.
We just added film. That's a wrap.
Educational activities help young people become productive citizens.
From staph infections to steroid use.
To cardiac and concussions.
Health and safety is a priority.
Heat, heart, and health history.
From heat-related illness to head injuries to heart-related issues to the medical history of students.
Your well-being is our priority because we are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
We are the UIL.
Hunter Johnson leads off the Canyon second inning. If you recall, made a big defensive play back at the top of this inning. Maybe a run-saving play at that. On a hard shot, ground ball on his side of the field at third is Tovar, ready for his second inning of work, and misses for ball one. It was a very up and down first inning for Anthony Tovar. Gave up 2 hits and a walk, but also struck out 3 batters. And falls behind 2-0. Johnson batting .290 this season, 9 for 31, no homers and 5 RBI for the junior. Was hitless in Tuesday's game at East Central. And tonight batting 7th in the order. Hitters count and swings and misses. The Cougars playing their 11th, or their, I'm having a hard time with math here. They're playing their 17th home game this season. They're 9-7. The Hornets are playing their 11th road game. They're 4-5-1 away from East Central. Three and 1 now. Johnson batting now. He'll be followed by Jones, a DH. After that, Connor Holt here in the second. Another leadoff walk for Canyon. That came back to bite Tovar in the first as he walked Nieto, and he did score. And now K. Jones. Jones, a 193 batter this season, 11 for 57, no homers and 5 RBI. One of 4 seniors on the Cougar roster. And batting left-handed against the Hornet left-hander, Anthony Tovar. Pulls back the bat, and is ahead of the count here. 1 ball, no strikes. Tonight, by the way, the 7th meeting between these two over the past 5 years. And again, East Central won Tuesday's game 3-2. But a gig showed by Jones, but takes it back for ball 2. The Cougars, though, swept the season series a year ago, helping keep East Central out of the playoffs. And the Cougars put up some big offensive numbers against Hornet pitching back in 2017. 31 runs scored in the 2 games. In the game here, Canyon won 18-12. That's strike 1. And did so, by the way, overcoming a 7-run deficit. Canyon at one point of the game, heading into the bottom of the fourth, was down 9-2. Scored once in the fourth, 6 runs in the fifth, and then 9 runs in the sixth. And now the count 3-1. The runner first, Johnson, walked to start the inning. Bunt showed the entire way by Jones, but never put it down. And now back-to-back walks for the Cougars to start the second. Brings up Connor Holt here for the Cougars. A few words of encouragement or maybe strategy from Coach Muchagimba moments ago. You would think this is a bunt situation here for Canyon, with Holt the number 9 batter, 2 on and nobody out. Holt not showing, at least not yet, now does, and bunts it foul. If Holt can move those two over, gives Nieto a big opportunity as he awaits in the on-deck circle. And the corner infielders are playing in for the Hornets. Salas from first and Strelzik from third. The 0-1. Bunt not show, but a strike. And now the bunt out of play, you would think, for Canyon, as Coach Mooch will visit again with Connor Holt here. Again, in his first season at Canyon, and Coach Reagan Muchagimba, only 30 years old, one of the younger varsity high school baseball coaches you'll come across, and was the head coach at Brandeis the previous 2 seasons. And in fact, it was his Broncos that eliminated Canyon from the playoffs last year. And Holt strikes out. 4th punch out for Tovar. That'll send up Ricky Nieto. Before becoming the head coach at Brandeis, Coach Muchagimba was an assistant at Reagan High School. What a high school program that is in San Antonio. And played collegiately at St. Mary's. Before that, high school baseball and football at Smithson Valley. Nieto walked and scored back of the first. He shows a bunt and fouls it back for strike 1. And of course, the last name sounds familiar. Muchagimba, his dad, Joe Muchagimba, now the assistant AD in the Comal ISD. Played for his dad at Smithson Valley when Coach Mooch was defensive coordinator. Here's a base hit to right field for Nieto. And the bases are full now as Nieto comes up with a 1-out single. Brings up Payne McKay, another base hit for the team's hit leader, Ricky Nieto. Such a tough batter to get out, Ricky Nieto. And here's McKay, struck out against Tovar. Back of the first, he's 0 for 1. Spoke with Coach Muchagimba before the game about his time at St. Mary's. Really good Division II program at the time in San Antonio. But the year after he graduated, the Rattlers played in the Division II World Series. This is a ground ball, and it could be 2, and it is. The 5-3 double play, and the Cougars do not score in the second. Big defensive play by Strelzik at third base, and we go to the third with the score, East Central 3, Canyon 1 on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School Baseball.
on Travel Channel. All new Expedition Unknown.
Every legend is an epic adventure. Here we go from Stonehenge and the Vikings to Butch Cassidy. It's the adventure that's legendary. Now how do we get out of this thing?
All new Expedition Unknown, Wednesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
Watch Travel Channel, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 577. GVTC, just plain smart. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
The biggest season of Fixer Upper is here.
What? We're taking it a whole nother direction.
This is going to be one of a kind.
With fresh new designs.
Love the stairwell. Pretty impressive. Are y'all ready to
check out your Fixer Upper?
Oh my God, look at this.
All new Fixer Upper, Tuesday at 9 on HGTV.
Watch HGTV, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 578. GVTC, just plain smart.
You can see it there at the bottom of your screen, the bottom left corner. The Cougars Network. For more information on everything Canyon High School athletics, subscribe now to the Cougars Network. Find out more by logging on to cougarsnetwork.com. After a offensive filled first inning, 3 runs for East Central and 1 for Canyon, a scoreless second as we go to the third, and the Hornets still up by a pair. And Ryan Beckett starts the Hornets' third inning and takes ball 1 from Michael Bassett, his third inning of work. Beckett had an infield single and score back in that 3-run frame for East Central. And grounds this foul just outside the line. And Beckett that close to a leadoff double. Beckett, again, the team's batting average leader at .354 coming into the game, is committed to play at Allen County Community College. A very unique mascot name, the Red Devils. Good curveball there from Bassett for strike 2. A lanky frame for Beckett up there. And strikes out. Another curveball from Bassett. Glasscock with a throw that goes off the batting helmet of Beckett, and he's safe. Or no, he's out. Got in the throwing lane there of Glasscock. And so Beckett will go to the dugout with Coach Moody now arguing on behalf of his player. And again, the runner Beckett had to give Glasscock a chance to make that throw. And didn't. So he's out. Strikeout secured by Bassett, his first tonight. And Christian Barajas, who flew out to left field back in the first. He's 0 for 1. First team All-District player a year ago. And takes a breaking ball outside for ball 1. And now a ball and a strike. Barajas batted .344 as a junior, hitting .328 as a senior with 9 extra base hits. And now the count 2-1. 2 homers, 5 doubles, and 2 triples for Barajas this season. And ahead against Bassett 2-1. This ball hit in the air to center a long way. McKay, though, has room, and now 2 out. And Bassett now out away from getting through the order. 1, 2, 3, and here is Anthony Tovar. Again tonight, starting pitcher for East Central. and helped his own cause back in the first with an RBI base hit. He's 1 for 1. The Cougars, though, have hit him decently so far in the game. 3 hits and they draw on 3 walks as Tovar takes ball 1. Opposing batters, though, have had a tough time against Tovar this season, hitting just 164. Strike 1. Has 2 homers of his own this season. As that pitch misses upstairs, 2-1 now. And one of the home runs came 2 weeks ago in a win over Steele. Low for ball 3. And on top of being a starter for East Central, at times also called out of the pen this year, does have 2 saves this season. Full count now to Tovar with Reyna on deck. It appears that Bassett has settled in after a tough first inning when the Hornets scored 3 times and sent 7 to the plate. Tovar fights that off and stays alive. Very cool Friday night here in New Braunfels. The wind howling out towards left field. 64 degrees at first pitch. And rain in the forecast tomorrow. Good battle here between Bassett and Tovar. You can see the wind there ripping through the back of the jersey of the freshman Michael Bassett. Hope you're staying warm tonight. 3-2. In the air to right center. McKay drifting back and again has room and a 1-2-3 third for the freshman Michael Bassett. And we go to the bottom of the third, still a 3-1.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Uh-oh. Sorry?
Watch FX, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 527. GVTC, just plain smart.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to CougarsNetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network.
Heart of the order jump for the Cougars here in the bottom of the third, trailing 3-1, with Perez leading off the Canyon third inning, followed by Glasscock and then Hopper. Here's a base hit to left field, just like that for James Perez, all the way to the gap in left center, and Perez legs out a leadoff double on the inning's first pitch. James Perez is 6th double this year, and the Cougars in business here in the home half of the 3rd inning. Now that's his 2nd hit of the night as Glasscock steps up, and he delivered an RBI single to center back in the 1st. Some good news, by the way, to pass along in terms of Cougar baseball earlier today. Jacob Moore, the starting pitcher for Canyon on Tuesday, has announced he will continue his playing career at Incarnate Word, Division I program in San Antonio, out of the Southland Conference. So congratulations to Jacob as Glasscock falls behind 0-1. Impressive numbers this year for Moore. Oh, 1 pitch. A ball and a strike. Moore 5-4 this season. One of those 4 seniors we spoke of, so he'll be a Incarnate Word Cardinal this time next year. A 2.17 ERA in 58 innings of work. As Glasscock calls for time. And check out this strikeout to walk ratio for Moore, 84-15. Here's a ball hit to left. Again, the park will hold it. Reyna moves a step back for out number 1. Sends up Bregan Hopper, who struck out looking back in the 1st. Moore again was the starter on Tuesday against East Central. 6 innings of work. Gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, but did strike out 8 in that 3-2 Hornet win. And now Hopper with Perez at 2nd. Outside corner, strike 1. Tovar's been effective tonight, nipping at the corners and also getting Cougar hitters to chase balls up and out of the zone. That fastball elevated has looked tempting for Tovar as Hopper lays off that 0-1 offering, a ball and a strike. Popped up. Here's the catcher, Beckett, having trouble finding it, and it goes off his glove. And so everybody is safe. Perez stays at 2nd. An error charged against Beckett. His 7th this year, and it sends up Calvin Farr. So the E2, and now Farr struck out against Tovar back in the 1st. Did so with 2 men on base. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Cougars have got to make the Hornets pay for that defensive mistake. Up and inside, and it got him, and the bases are full again for Canyon. First time Farr's been hit by a pitch this year, and now the batter, Hunter Johnson. If you recall, though, the bases were full back in the 2nd, but then Payne McKay grounded into a 5-3 inning-ending double play. So Tovar has wriggled off the hook in this situation before, and now Johnson, who walked against Tovar, back in the 2nd. First pitch, outside, and good play by Beckett to keep the ball from going to the backstop. And the count 1-0. Perez is at third. Hopper's at second, and Farr at first. That ball a grounder to second. 1 out, 2 outs, in time, yes. And the Cougars again hitting into a double play with the bases full. The Hornets again out of a jam. In the inning, no runs off a hit, a man left, and 1 Hornet error. We go to the fourth, 3-1 East Central on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Back on the Cougars Network, a 3-1 Hornet lead as we start the top of the fourth inning. And the batter here, Michael Reyna for East Central, batting 7th in the order for the Hornets, and behind 0-1 against Michael Bassett. And again, he has looked much better since a rocky start. The Hornets scoring all 3 of the runs back in the first. Since then, no hits for East Central as Reyna falls behind 1-2. Or beg your pardon, Robert Seaver did have a base hit of the second. But that the only hit since the first for East Central. That pitch misses the outside corner, 2-2. And Bassett has retired 5 straight East Central hitters. Will not do it a 6th time. A leadoff single for Reyna. Good start here for East Central in the fourth. That'll bring up Ozark Salas. Here's Salas, who's 0 for 1, flew out to right field back in the second. And again, if you're just tuning in, the Cougars have had some opportunities to maybe tie the game or do more, leaving 2 men on in all 3 innings so far tonight. And in each of the past 2 innings, bases loaded opportunities hitting into inning-ending double plays. It was Payne McCain the second, and then Hunter Johnson in the third. A tip of the cap to Tovar getting out of the jam both times for East Central. Bunt down, nearly gloved by Glasscock. Up along the third base line. And you saw Reyna too. A big jump off of first base. If Glasscock makes that catch, could be a chance at a double play for the Cougars. Instead, the count 0-1. And Salas's bunt goes foul again, this time not as dramatic. Runs the count to 0-2. Cougars tonight trying to win their 4th straight at home, but more importantly, keep themselves in a strong position for a playoff spot. A loss puts them behind the 8 ball. A ball and 2 strikes. Sun setting here in New Braunfels. Lights onto the ballpark on this Friday night from Canyon High School. Late regular season game. And again, East Central won the first game of the series on Tuesday, 3-2. Bunt showed and taken back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The base hit for Reyna, the second time tonight East Central's leadoff man is reached. A look back to first, and they got him. What a pickoff move there by Michael Bassett. And so much for Reyna's leadoff base hit as he goes back to the dugout. And now the base is empty, 2-2, and he got him. Second strikeout for Bassett. And just like that, moments ago, a leadoff base hit. You snap your fingers, nobody on and 2 out for Robert Sierra. Sierra did single off of Bassett back in the second. He's 1 for 1. And here takes ball 1. Both teams 6-5 in 27 6A play, tied with Judson for 4th place. Smithson Valley has already clinched a playoff berth. A ground ball, weakly hit, back to Bassett. And we will go to the bottom of the 4th with the Hornets still leading by 2 and by a score of 3-1. On the Cougars Network, this is Canyon High School baseball.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
And welcome back to Cougar Field. A 3-1 score as it has been since the end of the first inning. Now the bottom of the 4th. Kay Jones, Connor Holt, and Ricky Nieto due up for the Cougars here in the home half of the 4th inning. And the 4th inning of work here for Anthony Tovar. And the first pitch is up for ball 1 to Jones, who walked against Tovar back in the second. A score update. Out in 27 6A play in the 6th inning, Judson leading Smithson Valley 2-0. And that pitch hits Jones, so he'll reach for the second time. And now in all 4 innings, Canyon's leadoff man is reached. Sends up Connor Holt. Getting base runners has not been an issue for the Cougars here tonight. That is the second batter that Tovar has hit. He has walked 3, surrendered 4 hits, but still just a 1 run given up. Holt struck out back in the second. Pitches outside for ball one. And again, the Hornets expecting the bunt play as Strelzik will cheat in from third base. The bunt is down and successful. Tovar can't handle it, and everybody is safe. Second error against East Central tonight. For Tovar, just his second this year. And so 2 on and nobody out without the courtesy of a hit for Ricky Nieto. And Tovar's yet to figure him out. Nieto so far a walk and a single and has scored the Cougars' only run. And this has the makings of perhaps a big inning for the Cougars. Foul back for strike one by Nieto. At one point earlier this year, Nieto named as the Express News' Area Player of the Week back on April 2nd. A couple of weeks ago. Did so after the series against Steele. Nieto had 9 plate appearances against the Knights in the 2 games, and he reached base 8 times. Maybe the toughest out in the 27 6A district. But falls behind here 0-2. Jones, the runner at second, holds it first. Oh, 2. And Nieto stays alive. Payne McKay awaits on deck. Big spot here for Tovar against Nieto. A long look in by Tovar. Now ready. The throw to second base. Good spin move there by Tovar, but beating it out barely was Jones. Oh, 2. A ground ball to second. Could be another double play. There's 1. There's 2. Uncanny defense by the East Central infield here tonight. Their third double play turn. And just like that, 2 outs, but a runner at third base for Payne McKay. The first we saw was back in the second, the 5-3 variety. Strelzik to Salas. In the third inning, hit into by Johnson, it was Jacob Ovali from second to Vivier to Salas, the 4-6-3, and that again the 4-6-3 turn. Ovali, Vivier, and Salas. McKay is 0 for 2. Strike 1. Have to give a lot of credit to Tovar not getting rattled with men on base tonight. And really to his defense, because again, from third to first, going left to right, Those 4 have been good. A ball and a strike to McKay. Perez is on deck. Two and one. Brought up the dual sport players earlier. McKay, one of them, was a starting safety for Canyon's football team this past fall. Two. And we have seen on 2 strike counts, Tovar elevate the fastball, looking to get Cougars to chase, and so far they've complied. Let's see what the approach is here. It's up, but McKay lays off. Count 3-2. Full cut offering. Elevates the fastball again, and McKay this time goes fishing. And that'll end the Canyon 4th in the inning. No runs, no hits to the man left. 1 Hornet error. We go to the 5th. Still a 3-1 score on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
We head at the top of the 5th. East Central on top in this critical late season game, 3-1. Top of the order coming up for the Hornets. Neal, Vivier, and Strelzik due up for East Central. 5th inning of work for the freshman Matthew Bassett. And that is 72nd pitch tonight. And it's outside for ball 1. Towards left field and loops in for a base hit. Neal has now reached base safely all 3 times tonight. His first 2 times on walks. This a base hit. That'll send up Tyler Vivier. We did see Bassett work around a leadoff single back in the 4th inning. Big reason he was able to do so is that he picked off the runner Reyna, who had that leadoff base hit. And this is a bunt put down by Vivier. Nicely done. His second sacrifice tonight. And Neal over to second base. That'll send up Strelzik, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI base hit back in the 1st and a pop-up. 3-1 the Hornet lead. A man at second and 1 out. Bassett out of the stretch. Breaking ball hit on the ground to the right side for a hit. And rounding third is Neal. Here's a throw at the plate on target, and they got him. Gorgeous throw by Holt in right field. for the inning, second out. Keeps it a 2-run game as Strelzik with his second hit is now over to second base. That is a single, advancing to second on the throw. And now Ryan Beckett. Boy, the defense in this game, both teams, has been just phenomenal tonight. And now Beckett, who's 1 for 2 with an infield base hit and a strikeout. Boy, Cannon showed off there by Holden right field. Just misses low to Beckett. Ball 1. It looked like after the first inning we were in store for a high-scoring affair, but the pitching and defense had other things in mind. Here's a ground ball on the left side, over from short Nieto, and we go to the bottom of the 5th. Still, yes, a 3-1 score. In the inning, no runs off 2 hits and a man left. On the Cougars Network, this is Canyon High School baseball.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Say hello to something new. New is smart. New is gorgeous. New is delicious. New is so you. Discover HSN and find the perfect new for you.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
And welcome back to Cougar Field, where so many greats have played in years past. You go back to the early 90s, and once upon a time, Lance Berkman wore the white and red here at Canyon High School. Of course, went on to play at Rice University and then a long Major League career, notably with the Houston Astros, also time with the New York Yankees and St. Louis Cardinals, where he won a World Series in 2011. It was 10 years ago when J.P. Ramirez was drafted by Washington and went right to the pros to play for the Nationals organization. And J.P. still playing pro ball now in Mexico. And 2 years ago, another former Canyon Cougar was drafted, Tanner Hill, by the Arizona Diamondbacks after a college career at nearby Texas State. Coming up with the Cougars here in the bottom of the 5th, the heart of the order, batters 3, 4, and 5, Perez, Glasscock, and Reagan Hopper. Perez so far, big night, 2 for 2, and one of the hits a double. That came back in the 3rd to left center. And again, you see the score 3-1. It has been that score since the end of the first inning. First pitch from Tovar. The breaking ball is down for ball 1. This week has been a de facto playoff series between these two with so much on the line. And again, East Central won the opener on Tuesday, 3-2. Big swing and a miss by Perez. A ball and a strike. And the Hornets won that game in walk-off fashion. It was Ryan Beckett, who you see behind the plate now, that delivered the walk-off base hit. Foul back for strike 2. Prez was honorable mention All-District a year ago, batting .323, driving in 10. And has doubled that figure this season with 20 RBI. That leads the team. A ground ball to short. Vivier. Routine throw for out number 1. Not much getting by the middle part of the infield tonight for East Central. Between Vivier short and Jacob O'Valley at second. They've been extremely dependable tonight for head coach J.K. Moody, and now the batter is Glasscock, who drove in the Cougars' only run back in the first and an RBI single to center. He's 1 for 2. And here takes ball 1 from Tovar. Both starting pitchers still in the game. Tovar for East Central and Bassett for Canyon. Popped up. Glasscock should be routine. Strelzik from third will give way last second to Vivier for the second out. You go back to a tough bottom of the fourth for Tovar as he hit Cade Jones to start the inning and then committed an error on the bunt attempt by Holt. So 2 on, nobody out, but since then, he's retired 4 straight. And now Reagan Hopper is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Line score so far tonight, 3 runs off 8 hits and 2 errors for East Central. 1 run off 4 hits and an error for Canyon. A 1. Now 0-2. Good pitch there by Tovar. Hopper did have a base hit in Tuesday's loss. Trying to reach here for the first time tonight and lays off the 0-2 pitch. 1-2. Kellen Farr waits on deck. And the Cougars now at this stage might be counting the outs. They're down to their final 7 and nearly their final 6. But that ball does pop up out of play. If the Cougars lose tonight, they're going to have to win both games next week and hope East Central loses out. And now a score update in that Judson-Smithson Valley game. Rockets now on top 4-0. And remember, Judson a part of this 3-team tie for 4th with East Central and Canyon. All 3 teams 6-5. One-two is up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a 3-2 pitch, and Hopper takes a 2-out walk. Brings up the tying run. The batter, Calvin Farr, who's 0 for 1, has struck out on it and has also been hit by a pitch. Another baseball player who doubles up his time playing football as well. Wide receiver for Canyon this past season. Awaits the first pitch from Tovar and takes a ball up 1-0. Another out of the zone from Tovar. And again, got ahead of Hopper early, but ended up walking him, and now behind Farr, 2-0. That's low for ball 3. Tovar right now trying to help guide his team onto the brink of a playoff spot. And again, a win tonight would go a long way. A 1-game lead over Canyon would be the result with the tiebreaker. So essentially, up 2 games. Inside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks. And now Hunter Johnson. Johnson 0 for 1, has walked himself tonight, but also hit into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up back in the 3rd. 5th walk of the night given up by Tovar. Had only given up 11 all season in 17 innings of work. First pitch on the inside corner for strike 1. Hopper's at second. Farr, the runner, at first. Big jump for the runners, and there's some confusion. Farr thought it was a double steal. He's over at second base. And now the tag down at third by Strelzik ends the inning. Somebody got confused. As a result, it ends a Canyon threat again. In the inning, no runs, no hits, and a man left. We go to the 6th, 3-1 East Central on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
Say hello to something new. New is smart. New is gorgeous. New is delicious. New is so you. Discover HSN and find the perfect new for you.
This winter, shop QVC for everything you need to relax and unwind after a long day. Rejuvenate your look with new beauty. Reboot your electronic gear. Recommit to your healthy lifestyle. Find great brands and new deals every day. Get $5 off your first purchase with promo code 54U. Shop now on QVC.com.
On Travel Channel, all new Expedition Unknown.
Every legend is an epic adventure. Here we go. From Stonehenge and the Vikings to Butch Cassidy. It's the adventure that's legendary.
How do we get out of this thing?
All new Expedition Unknown. Wednesday at 9 on Travel Channel.
Watch Travel Channel. GVTC Digital Cable Channel 577. GVTC. Just plain smart.
Hornets hanging on to this 2-run lead. Heading into the 6th inning, Christian Barajas on the first pitch from Michael Bassett. Swings and grounds out to third base as Johnson guns him down. 1 pitch and 1 out. As we are underway in the top of the 6th on the Cougars Network. And Canyon trying to climb out of this 2-run deficit with perhaps the season on the line. Barajas with that ground down, now 0 for 3 tonight. This for a hitter coming in, batting .328. And now Tovar, the pitcher for East Central, steps up. He's 1 for 2. And here takes ball 1. The one hit Tovar had, and it was an RBI single to right back in the first. A ball to strike now from Bassett. A look back at the first 5 innings at the plate for Canyon. And the big number that stands out, 8. 8 men left on. A check swing, and home plate umpire says Tovar went 1-2. And got him. Tovar strikes out, third punch out for Bassett, who's now retired 3 in a row, and that'll send up Michael Reyna with nobody on and 2 out. Michael Reyna is 1 for 2. Hit into a fielder's choice back of the first, and a single in the 4th inning is lone base hit. Pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. Now 2-0. Again, Canyon was a playoff team last season. Lost in the first round of Brandeis, where Coach Muchigimba was before coming on board to coach the Cougars. Up and in. 3-0. And Canyon has been a playoff team in 3 of the past 4 years. A 4-pitch walk. And for Bassett, that is just the 3rd walk of the game, and his first to a player not named Taylor Neal. And that might be it here for Bassett as Coach Muchigimba comes out and visits. Meanwhile, you see Coach J.K. Moody at the plate, and he'll bring in a pinch hitter. So Salas is pulled back, and Logan Taylor will pinch hit for him.
Now batting for the Hornets, number 2, Logan Taylor.
Taylor batting 188 so far this year, 3 for 16. With 1 RBI. And Bassett, the freshman, hanging in there on the mound and trying to work around the 2-out walk. Inside corner for strike 1. The last hit for Taylor came March 23rd against Judson. His first career hit, or first career varsity RBI rather, came March 14th in a high-scoring game against Antonian. A game that saw a combined 33 runs scored. East Central won the game 18-15 as Taylor falls behind 0-2. Three strikeouts already for Bassett. A waste pitch, and Taylor lays off. The 1-2 from the freshman. Nearly hit him. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to the sophomore. And Robert Sierra waiting on deck. 2-2. Not even close, and gets away from Glasscock. And over to second base is Reyna. And now a base hit here becomes a dangerous proposition for Canyon. And here's Bassett with the 3-2. Missed for ball 4. Good at-bat there by Taylor. 10th walk he's drawn this year. Sends up Robert Sierra. And Sierra, again the JV call-up, had a single to center. Back of the second, and also a ground out. He's 1 for 2. East Central trying to add to a 2-run lead. A 3-run first for the Hornets and nothing since then. The Cougars scored their lone run back in the bottom of the first. Mentioned the Cougars have left 8 men on base. The Hornets have left 4 on. And 2 on right now for Sierra. A ground ball, gloved right there by Johnson to first. And it gets away from Perez. That'll score a run. Rain is in, a 4-1 Hornet lead. And a tough error there for the Cougars. And the inning continues as we go back to the top of the order. Second Canyon error tonight. And the Hornets have done this without a hit. Again, there was nobody on and 2 out, but then back-to-back walks to the bottom of the order by Bassett, and the E5 allows Sierra to reach and a run to score, and now it is Neal who fouls off that pitch, and the count 0-1. And keep in mind that Bassett has not figured out Neal yet tonight. 2 walks and a base hit. And that a step towards solving him. Count 0-2. The Cougars have got to keep this deficit manageable. Runner second and third and 2 out. A ground ball on the right side. Far. The play to first. In time. And we will go to the bottom of the 6th with work to do for Canyon. In the inning, 1 run off no hits. 2 men left on and 1 critical Cougar error. 4-1 East Central on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School Baseball.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Watch DIY, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
We head to the bottom of the 6th on the Cougars Network. East Central leading 4-1. And the Cougars are running out of outs. 6 to go, down by 3. Bottom part of the order coming up for Canyon. Johnson, Jones, and Holt due up. The Cougars have had base runners in all 5 innings so far tonight, but still only the 1 run scored. And that came all the way back in the first off of a 1-out single hit by Garrett Glasscock. Drove home Ricky Nieto. Since then, donuts on the board for Canyon. Johnson was batting back in the 5th inning, but that inning ended on a base running error by Canyon as Johnson takes strike 1. The starter, Tovar, still out there for East Central. A ball and a strike. Be huge to see the bottom part of the order come through and put a couple of base runners on for Ricky Nieto, who would be due fourth as Johnson falls behind 1-2. And the pitch from Tovar. Johnson stays alive. Again, next week the Cougars close out the regular season with a home-and-home with Judson. Tuesday's game here at Cougar Field. Fridays is in Converse. Breaking ball hit on the ground, left side. Backhanded by the shortstop, Vivier. Throw to first base. Got him. Goodness, what a throw there by Tyler Vivier. One away. You just have to, again, tip your cap to the middle part of the infield tonight for East Central. Not much getting by them. And Al Jones, who has reached base twice tonight. Once on a walk and the other time on a hit by pitch. And ahead of Tovar, 1 ball and no strikes. Now 2-0. That ball was hit deep in the shortstop hole. Thought it was a no-doubt infield base hit for Johnson, but Nieto's cannon got him out by a step. 2-1. Or Vivier's cannon, beg your pardon. Thinking of Canyon shortstop Nieto. It would be due up if somebody can reach here the 6th. Two and two. Breaking ball hit on the right side, and that one is nearly gobbled up by Ovale, but will squirt through for a base hit. So Jones will reach for the 3rd time tonight. That sends up Connor Holt. That's Canyon's first base hit since a leadoff double hit by Perez back in the 3rd. And now Holt, who's 0 for 2. But did make one heck of a throw from right field earlier in the game. Gunning down a runner at home plate. Falls behind 0-1. You might look at the box score later and see at minimum 2 errors for each team, but doesn't tell the story because the defenses have been really good tonight. A ball to strike to Holt with Nieto on deck. And again, you can tell with the energy level we've seen, both teams realize what's at stake here this evening. This is playing out like a playoff game. 1-2. The pitch. Got him. 6th strikeout for Anthony Tovar. He had 4 of them back in the first 2 innings, including 3 in the first. As Nieto steps up. Nieto 1 for 2. walked and scored the Cougars' only run back of the first. Also has a single. Hit into a critical 4-6-3 double play that was last time up back of the fourth. That's upstairs for ball one. The 1-0 was up and away, and here makes it 2 balls and no strikes. To a player named first team All-District a year ago, Ricky Nieto, on his way to earning those honors again this season. Hitters count to Canyon's best hitter. 3-0. Would have to match it with Canyon down by 3. Nieto doesn't get the green light here. And he does take, but this is a strike. And now 3-1. The tying run is on deck in Payne McKay. And now the count fills out at 3-2, and that will allow Jones to take off on the pitch. A long stare in by Tovar as the catcher Beckett awaits the sign for the dugout, relays that to Tovar. Now Nieto calls for time himself. And after the cat and mouse game, here we go. 3-2. Strike 3 at the knees. Nieto, a rare strikeout, just his 3rd this season, into Canyon's 6th. In the inning, no runs off a hit and a man left. East Central 4, Canyon 1 on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School baseball.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Watch DIY, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
And again, look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Information to subscribe now to the Cougars Network to get all kinds of content on Canyon High School athletics. More on baseball, the Cougars Red Hot softball team, the upcoming football season, and more. For more information, log on to CougarsNetwork.com. We head at the top of the 7th. And East Central leading 4-1. And a new pitcher to the game now for Canyon, as Michael Bassett is out of the game, and in now is Noah Schuster. The senior is 0-0 this year and 4 1/3 innings of work. 6 strikeouts and 5 walks for Schuster. After a valiant effort tonight by the freshman Michael Bassett. First pitch from Schuster is up for ball 1. Facing off against Tyler Vivier, who again has played really well defensively tonight at shortstop. At the plate, he's 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifices and a fielder's choice. And ahead here against Schuster, 2-0. Hitters count. That ball is ripped foul. And the count now 2-1. Tonight, Bassett, 6 innings of work, 4 runs off 8 hits. Inside corner, strike 2. 4 walks and 3 strikeouts tonight for Bassett. Popped up, could be playable, should be, and Perez makes a catch for the first out. And now the batter is Blade Strelzik. And like Vivier, has played really well defensively on the left side of East Central's infield over at third base. At the plate, he's 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. And takes strike 1. Foul tip strike. Not nothing 2 from Schuster. Beckett awaits on deck. The Canyon order due in the bottom of the 7th. Hitters 2, 3, and 4. McKay, Perez, and Glasscock are due up. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got him on the fastball inside. So Strelzik strikes out. The 5th strikeout, or 4th tonight for Canyon pitching, sends up Ryan Beckett. One of those strikeout victims back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3, but does have a base hit and a run scored. Nobody on and 2 out for Tuesday's hero, Ryan Beckett. The Cougars led Tuesday's game 2-0 going into the bottom of the 1st and did not score again. East Central able to work a tie by the time the game reached the 7th. And then Beckett delivered the walk-off base hit. He's ahead 2-0. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Schuster looking to go 1, 2, 3 in the 9th. And here gets his first strike against Beckett. Count 3-1. Barajas waiting on deck for East Central. And we will see Barajas here in the 7th. That's just the 10th walk that Beckett has drawn this year as Barajas steps up. And now we see a courtesy runner come in for East Central. Salvatore Ramirez, and here's Barajas. First pitch is low below the knees, ball 1. A big bat that the Cougars have kept quiet so far tonight. Barajas is 0 for 3. Schuster's 1-0 is up for ball 2. Misses again. 3 balls and no strikes for the second straight batter. This after Schuster got off to a good start here in the 7th. Retiring the first 2 batters, a pop-up of Vivier and then the strikeout of Strelzik. 3-1 to Barajas. Lefty on lefty. Popped in the air to left. Long run, Hopper. And he won't make the catch. Over to third base, Strelzik, or Beckett, beg your pardon, the pinch runner. Ramirez to third base for East Central as Barajas is safe at second. And then he continues down with Anthony Tovar at the plate for East Central. And now a quick chat with Glasscock and Schuster, with East Central trying to rally for some insurance runs here in the 7th. Curious if we'll see Tovar pitch the 7th. And right now he's batting, and so far tonight Tovar is 1 for 3 with an RBI. And takes ball 1. Schuster falling behind again. And now time called by Tovar, who has just been a magician at times tonight on the mound for East Central. In trouble time and time again, and somehow he gets out of it. 2 balls and no strikes. It's as if you put him in the straitjacket, handcuffs on, and the bucket of water, and finds himself free moments later. 3 balls and no strikes. The 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to Tovar. Bases are full now for Michael Reyna. Ramirez, the courtesy runner, is over at third. Barajas is at second. And now Tovar at first, and that is it for Schuster. And the new pitcher in now for Canyon is Cody Leal, the junior. 0-0 this year with a ERA of 0. Just 2 innings of work for Leal. 1 strikeout and 1 walk this season. And the third pitcher of the game used by head coach Reagan Muchagemba. And Leal will get in his warm-up pitches, and again a big spot coming up. You feel as if a 3-run deficit is doable for Canyon to get out of at the bottom of the 7th, but anything beyond that going to be really tough. And a base hit could break the game wide open here for East Central. It was a good start tonight for East Central. Again, a 3-run top of the first for the visitors out of San Antonio. Run scored by Neal, Strelzik, and Beckett, getting RBI base hits from Strelzik and Anthony Tovar. East Central, though, did not score again until the 6th inning. Adding a run to its lead and doing so without a hit back in the 6th, if you recall. A 2-out rally. courtesy of 2 walks and a run-scoring error committed by Canyon. And you felt at times tonight the Cougars had a chance of maybe breaking the game open in their favor with a ton of base runners, but hitting into 3 double plays really killed any of Canyon's momentum at the plate. And now the Cougars are desperate to keep this a 3-run game going into the bottom of the 7th. And here's Reyna. So far, he's had a good night, hitting 7th in the order for East Central, 1 for 2. With a base hit back in the 4th, a walk, and that critical run scored in the 6th. Facing off against Leal. Right-hander against right-hander, and the first pitch from Leal is up for ball 1. (1-0). Upstairs, ball 2. And the Cougar bullpen having a tough time finding the strike zone right now. Now 3-0. Glasscock trying to calm down Leal. You don't want to gift East Central a run here by walking him. If he gets a base hit, you tip your cap. But there is the gift wrap walk. That'll score Ramirez. 5-1, the East Central lead now. And meanwhile, the bases are still full. And here is Ozric Salas. Salas so far over 2 with a strikeout. The Owls' first pitch is inside for ball 1. Barajas is now at 3rd. Tovar at 2nd and Reyna at 1st. Had the play but up. 2-0. And there's strike 1. Again, if this score holds, the Cougars are going to be in a lot of trouble heading into next week. Needing to sweep Judson and get help from Wagner against East Central, and Wagner is yet to win a 27-6A game this year. 3 balls and 1 strike. And another run is walked in. So back-to-back RBI walks to Reyna and Salas. And another change coming up here for Canyon. Barajas scores the Hornets' 6th run. A 2-run 7 so far, and now the new pitcher in for Canyon is Delton Hart. And while he warms up, we'll step aside. On the Cougars Network, this is Canyon High School Baseball.
I'm Jaime Buenteo, produce buyer for H-E-B. We work hard to find the freshest, best produce available. That's why we work with Texas growers to buy local as much as possible. Over 100 million pounds annually. In fact, we sell more produce than any other store in Texas. Grapefruit, corn, blueberries, and tons more. All grown right here in our beautiful backyard and on their way to your store within 24 hours. This is the local Texas produce department at H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B.
The biggest season of Fixer Upper is here.
What? We're taking it a whole nother direction.
This is going to be one of a kind.
With fresh new designs.
Love the stairwell.
Pretty impressive. Are y'all ready to
Check out your Fixer Upper.
Oh my God, look at this.
All new Fixer Upper, Tuesday at 9 on HGTV.
Watch HGTV, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 578. GVTC, just plain smart.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Now the mound for the Canyon Cougars is Delton Hart, the sophomore, trying to fan the flames here in the top of the 7th. 2 runs already in for the Hornets. And this is the 8th batter of the inning, Robert Sierra. And all this coming with 2 outs for the Hornets. First pitch, a ground ball, should end the inning, and it does at the force at second base. But 2 runs later, the Hornets have a 5-run lead going to the bottom of the 7th of the Cougars down to their final 3 outs. On the Cougars Network, this is Canyon High School baseball.
Down in Texas, modern-day prospectors are making big bucks flipping houses. But before they can cash in, they gotta move them. Hauling homesteads and kicking asphalt. All new Texas Flip and Move, Friday night at 9 on DIY Network.
Watch DIY, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 126. GVTC, just plain smart.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
And welcome back to Cougar Field. Canyon in a lot of trouble heading into the bottom of the 7th, down 6-1. East Central adding 2 runs to its lead in the top of this inning, and doing so without the courtesy of a hit, as the Hornets drew 4 walks in the inning and also got a base runner courtesy of an outfield error. And pieced together those 2 runs with, at one point, the bases empty and 2 out. Within 5 straight reach for the Hornets, 2 of them scored, and now East Central has gone from a 3-run lead to a comfortable 5-run advantage, as the Cougars will send Payne McKay to the plate to start the bottom of the 7th, trying to get a rally going. Meanwhile, the 7th inning of work coming up here for Anthony Tovar for East Central. A final in 27-6A play. Judson beat Smithson Valley 4-1. The Rangers just their 2nd district loss this season. So far tonight, McKay is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and here falls behind 0-1. And again, speaking of Judson, that is Canyon's opponent next week, Tuesday and Friday, to end the regular season. In the air to right. Long run for the first baseman, Salas, but runs out of room. East Central on the doorstep of his 20th win of the season. Breaking ball that just misses up. Good action, though, there by Tovar. A ball and 2 strikes. And McKay strikes out for the third time. That'll send up James Perez.
Now batting, first baseman, number 27, James Perez.
And for Tovar, 7 strikeouts now tonight as Perez steps up. Does have 2 of Canyon's 5 hits, including a double. And bats with the bases empty and 1 out. Canyon down to its final 2 outs here tonight. A swing and a miss by Perez. 0-1. Brought up East Central's pitching numbers earlier. Again, impressive this year. You're seeing that firsthand tonight with the way Tovar's dealing late in the game. Count now, ball and a strike. But also, now we know why that ERA number is where it is at 2.69 coming into the game. That defense of East Central's has been really good tonight. 2 very odd infield errors right near home plate for the Hornets, but beyond that, they've been sharp. And misses to Perez. As he looks to reach. And a pitch away from doing that. That was ball 3. Full count pitch coming up to Perez. Glasscock waiting on deck. And now time called by the big first baseman James Perez. Again, getting back to the 2 errors committed by East Central. One of them a result of the catcher Beckett losing the ball near home plate on a pop-up. And the other, a ball mishandled on a butt attempt by the pitcher, Tovar. As Perez strikes out, the drop third strike, though, necessitates a throw from Beckett at first, which he makes, and now the Cougars are down to their final out. At an 8 strikeout game now for Tovar. And now Glasscock, as we see Coach Moody come out to the mound. This should be a quick visit here with Tovar with nobody on and 2 out, and East Central on top by 5. But perhaps Tovar met his pitch limit, and so he will leave the game with the Hornets out away from ending it. And now Vivier will come in to finish things off here, and Reyna will go to shortstop. This will mean a new left fielder for the Hornets as well. A look at Vivier's pitching numbers this year. He's 1-0 with a 2.19 ERA as we see Tovar get an outfield glove, and he will now go to the outfield for East Central. And it appears he'll be the man occupying left field. So a defensive shift here for East Central. So Vivier goes from short to pitching. Reyna goes from left to short. And Tovar from pitching to left field. And more on Vivier's pitching numbers this season. 16 innings of work with 11 strikeouts and 5 walks this year. Opposing batters, though, are hitting .242 against him as he takes the mound, needing 1 out to go to finish this one off. And now coming up Canyon, Glasscock the hitter is 1 for 3. His lone hit was an RBI single back in the first, driving home Ricky Nieto the Cougars' only run tonight. And so here is Tyler Vivier. Whose defense has really stood out so far tonight. Batting second in the order for East Central, hasn't produced much there, but did have a couple of sacrifices. And now trying to slam the door shut. And delivers ball one. Now the 1-0 for the right-hander is down and away for ball two. Reagan Hopper in the on-deck circle for Canyon. 2-0. Fouled off for strike one. Vivier trying to secure the final out. Won't get it here as he tried a barehand that catch, but goes right by him into center. And a two-out single keeps the game alive. Glasscott's second hit. And now Reagan Hopper.
Now at the plate, number 9. Left fielder Reagan Hopper.
Hopper so far is 0 for 1 with a walk. As we see Jacob Marin come in to courtesy run for Glasscock. Brought up Marin's name earlier. Again, congratulations to him. Committing to play baseball at Incarnate Word in San Antonio. And again, Marin was the starting pitcher for Canyon on Tuesday against East Central. First pitch to Hopper is out of the zone for ball one. Great to see Hopper bounce back from the injury earlier in the year. Again, missed about 6 weeks. And has looked good since then and fouls us back for strike one. And how about Hopper, too, when you sit out for as long as he did, you get so eager to get back out there and you want to make a play, make an impression. And he homers in his first game back. A ball and a strike. Now 2-1. If Hopper can extend the game, Calvin Farr waits on deck. And now the Cougars down to their final strike. Two-two. Hopper just manages to stay alive. East Central missed out of the playoffs a year ago. This win tonight, if they hold on, puts them on the brink of getting back into the postseason. And they are now one strike away. That ball fouled off the end of the bat. Oh, would have been ball three, and the count remains 2-2. Marin at first, 2 out, bottom 7, and a 6-1 Hornet lead. Two-two. Good battle here by Reagan Hopper. The Hornets didn't go away quietly on Tuesday, so why should the Cougars now tonight? 2-2 again. And that, a strike in the knees, ends the game as Hopper punches out. And the Hornets on the doorstep of a postseason berth. Final score tonight, East Central 6, Canyon 1. Back to wrap things up on the Cougars Network. This is Canyon High School Baseball.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
And we are back at Cougar Field to look at the scoreboard here tonight, and that the final, East Central winning it by a score of 6-1. And the Cougars now have a lot of work to do and a lot of help to come their way as well if they are to make the postseason, as the Hornets have put the Cougars on the brink with a 6-1 win, sweeping this two-game series, winning on Tuesday 3-2 in tonight's game by a final score of 6-1. The loss drops the Cougars to 6-6 in 27-6A play and to 14-13-1 overall. The Hornets improved to 29-2 this year, and now more importantly, they're 7-5 in the district. And with that, we're going to wrap up our coverage here tonight. Thanks to everybody on behalf of the Cougars Network. I'm Brent Freeman from Cougar Field saying good night.